What's up, people? It's your man, Urban Lover, coming from your mama's basement. You know what I come to do. I come to put rumors to rest and people to bed and kids to sleep. I got Google, baby. Listen, there's a rumor that came out. First of all, I want to say kudos to Paul George. He basically got his agent to tell the front office, like, listen, don't build with me, build around me, because I'm not going to be here. So build without me. Start looking now to make plans to build without me. I want to let you guys, wait till the end of the year to figure out what I'm going to do, this and that. And I respect that because Dwight Howard, I'm not going to throw the Dwight Howard name out there like that. That's kind of disrespectful. But anyway, Dwight Howard, did something similar to that. And a couple other players. But Dwight Howard was the first one that comes to mind. So I kind of respect what PG-13, did, because he probably seen, like, listen, I've been here for a year. The best opportunity we had to beat the Cavaliers was when we had Roy Hibbert, David West, Lance Stevenson, and Hill. They dismantled that team, and since then I'm basically just planning, just making it to the playoff and getting bumped every round. Long as Cleveland gonna be here, and the Celtics, because the Celtics are on the rise as well. We always gonna have this problem. So what is my next move? Well, I'm looking at over the horizon. I see the Lakers are starting to put a nice little squad together, and I'm from that hometown, so why not go back home? Okay, so he basically told he got his agents, told the front office, like, I'm going to be gone. So the front office is going to start going in panic mode, because they probably figure, like, what are we going to do now? Now, the only thing at the end of the day is this. Anything that they really can do, the only thing the Pacers can really do is, to be honest with you, is to trade them to Cleveland, because Cleveland right now are showing interest of getting them just for a rental for 1 year, because they know that he ain't going to be there, and plus they don't really have the money like that. So they go in order to make space for them, Cleveland Cavaliers got to move some of their players. They're going to probably move a couple players in order to send them to Cleveland for 1 year, depending on their contracts. Because in reality, Indiana have to take those contracts in order to make a swap if it happens. Now, keep in mind, they're only going to have PG-13 for 1 year. Cleveland, they're going to probably receive some players, picks, or whatever it may be. They're better off just getting picks, to be honest. Because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it'll look good for the Pacers, because the Pacers will get something in return. Cleveland just wanted for just for 1 year. So it'll be beneficial for the Pacers to get him, because at the end of the day, remember, PG-13 is not going to sign an extended contract. Because if he signs an extended contract, then they really can, play around with some options. But because he's not signing an extended contract, Indiana could move him this season to Cleveland for some draft picks. A couple of their players is on the bench. They could move him for some players and draft picks, depending on what, the Pacers decide to do. That's the only real option, because he's not going to re-sign a contract. Now, with the Lakers, here's the thing about them. Fans are saying, like, oh, well, we should go ahead and, go after PG-13 now. Then there's the media that's saying we should go at him now. But see, you got to go back to what was spoken of prior to that. The agents came out and told, the Magic Johnson in the front office, like, listen, don't trade none of your assets away. We're coming anyway. So at the end of the day, trading up a bunch of players just to get them out of what you want to call it when you become nervous, and you basically start moving too fast because you're panicking. Well, I gotta make these moves, because if I don't make these moves, he's going to Cleveland. We might lose out on him. To me, it's still foolish. I'm just being honest, because here's the thing. All right, we make a trade. Now remember, PG-13 sits down with his agents. His agents relay back to the front office what PG-13 is talking about. This is the main reason why, in so many words, Magic Johnson ain't gonna say too much about, his agents basically talk to him and say, like, PG-13 coming, because that's actually tampering, and they can get fined for that. So, as a matter of fact, that even came out, but they said that Magic Johnson in the front won't be fined because they didn't really tamper. They didn't really put names out there. They didn't put information out there. But PG-13 told his agents he can speak on it. So he told his agents, this is that. Magic Johnson don't have to reply back. But, you can, if you watch Magic Johnson videos, in his interviews, he's kind of like squeaking around to that. Like he said, we're going to wait till 2018 because there's a lot of free agents coming, and it feel good for certain players. Well, he didn't say certain players, but it feel good to hear players say that they don't mind playing for us again. So he didn't really say too much about we're going to make moves in order to get this guy. He didn't say anything like that. He just, when a lot of sports sites and all that talk to Magic, they try to throw it out there, throw him a curveball, and Magic Johnson kind of like, push that away. Are you trying to get me in trouble? Like Sports Buzz when they were doing it with Magic Johnson. But anyway, now keep this in mind. If the Lakers make moves in order to trade a couple of their assets away to the Pacers in order to require PG-13 early, you got to keep in mind. Got to keep in mind, guys. the Pacers want Brandon Ingram. So that was the one of the reasons why Magic Johnson backed out, because the Pacers wanted Brandon Ingram, and they wanted a couple other players too. One just Brandon Ingram. They wanted like 3 players. And I think a draft pick, almost similar to what Sacramento got. But, you know, we probably have much better quality players than what Sacramento received. Now, they wanted 3 players plus a draft pick. Do you think for a minute that they're not going to change up their, you know, their process of this is what they want for PG-13? They still going to want Brandon Ingram. They will probably want D'Angelo Russell. You know, they probably take D'Angelo Russell, Brandon Ingram, and 2 draft picks, or whatever it may be. They can give up the number 20 draft pick, or in the second round, or however they choose to do it. But do you still give up all that assets in order to just require PG-13? Then when PG-13 comes, he see that they, you know, what the heck? You know, the people that I wanted to play with, like for instance, Brandon Ingram, is not here. You know, D'Angelo Russell, I know a lot of D'Angelo Russell fans are, you know, not fans, but the haters probably say, oh, that's a good thing. Then D'Angelo Russell goes somewhere and probably be a star. We don't know. You know, the dude's only 21. So at the end of the day, do you give up all that quality, all those quality assets in order to receive PG-13 out of panic mode? Me personally, no, you don't. Because remember, Cleveland only going to have him for 1 year. It's the same thing with Dwight Howard. You know, Dwight Howard basically wanted out. The Lakers made the dumbest move by giving up Andrew Bynum for Dwight Howard, losing a lot in favor of Dwight Howard, knowing that he's only going to be here for 1 year. He wasn't going to be to L.A. because, you know, him and Kobe couldn't coexist. You know, he has an ego. Kobe has an ego. And Kobe can back his ego up because he won championship. Dwight Howard ain't done nothing since. You know, so in retrospect, that they gave up all that in order to receive Dwight Howard, who wound up walking at the end of the season. You know, they say, well, you know, he said if Phil Jackson was still here, he would have stayed. That's bullcrap. That's just an excuse that a man will make in order to not let the fans be so angry at him. You know what I'm saying? He was going to leave anyway. So with PG-13, he comes to L.A., right? So just keep this in mind. He don't have nobody to play with. And it depends on who the Lakers give away. So he had nobody to play with. So now they're in the rebuilding mode. You got also kind of keep in mind they got Lou Aldane and Mozgov under contract. And then you got to re-sign PG-13 at the end of the season. So then you got those 3 guys under big contracts. Now, who are you going to bring in now? See, it don't make any sense. You got to think of it from a business standpoint. Why would you trade all those assets away who still are under contract, right? To receive a guy, now you can't bring nobody else in because DeMarcus Cousins, he's not going to come in for a minimal contract. He's going to want a big contract. Same thing with Blake Griffin or anybody else that's free from this season, from this offseason on. You know what I mean? They're going to want big contracts. They're not going to want something small, especially when they know their value is much more worth than what, you know, what people think. And at the end of the day, do they make a pay cut in order to come to a team that's not guaranteed to make the playoff, or not playoff, but make the finals? Do you make that decision? Well, I'm going to take a pay cut. Most players that take pay cuts, they're either going to a team that's already a contender, or a team that's a contender, or a team that's that close away from being a contender. Not somebody who just went, you know, second overall as the worst record. You know what I'm saying? It don't make any sense. So PG-13, even if he come here and we give all the assets for him, we can't get nobody else. We lose our players. We got to wait years. Do you think PG-13 is going to wait on a team that still got 2 guys under guaranteed contracts for the next 3 years, and you can't get nobody? That don't make any sense. He'll probably go to LA Clippers, which will make more sense. So why give up the assets in order to receive PG-13? And you can't get nobody else because you got 2 guys under those big contracts. It don't make any sense. The Lakers, in regards, should just wait. If he want to get rented by the Cleveland Cavaliers, by all means, let it. You know, this will let him know if he really, truly want to be a Laker. Because if he go to Cleveland, win a chance, say if they go to Cleveland, he win a championship. You know, and then he decide to stay with Cleveland. Then, you know what, at the end of the day, you know, we didn't lose out. You know, we still can build our young squad and go from there. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you know, that's how I look at it. So giving them up now, giving up our assets now in order to get PG-13 doesn't make sense to me, because we're not going to be able to get nobody because all these big contracts, you know. So with him being a free agent, right? Because you got to remember, when you get PG-13, you get, number one, like I said before, you're getting all those contracts. I mean, or you still have those contracts on the books. We got to move Lou Aldane and Maz Government. That's simple put. So we might as well just wait, because that way we get PG-13 as a free agent, and all these young guys are still under contract. You know, they still got, like, you know, Julius Randle, this is what, 3rd year? So he got 1 year left. I think 1 year, then I think it's an optional or something like that. I don't know what his contract. Most of them on a 4 or 5 year contract, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But we still got a lot of them guys that still under a good, healthy contract. Remember, D'Angelo Russell, his 2nd year, so he still got 2 years. Brandon got, 3 years. Julius Randle, I think he got, a year left or something like that. So you got to think about that as well. So the only thing I really can say at the end of the day, they can move Julius Randle. you know. But you know, and anyway, if the Lakers move anything, they're gonna have to move whatever they do. They're gonna have to include Lou Aldane and Miles Government in any contract negotiation. They got to move them guys in order to make space if they want to get another free agent. You know, especially if DeMarcus Cousins is free after the end of the season. I'm just being honest. I mean, so personally, I will wait. You know, if he stayed in Cleveland, decided to stay, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That means he didn't want to stay here after all anyway. But if his heart is real, if his heart is loyal, saying like, I want to come to LA, then this is where you test it to see if he's really loyal about coming to LA. You know, at the end of the day, if you go to Cleveland, they win the championship or get bumped by Golden State after the end of the season and decide to come to LA, that's cool. If you decide to stay in Cleveland, that's cool too. You know what I mean? My thing at the day is that we got young players. Lakers fans need to be patient. Stop jumping around the board saying we need to get this player and get that player. We need to do this, we do that. That's back in the days. Those days are gone. Proven point. Look at Cleveland. They rented all those players. Kevin Love. LeBron goes back to go back to Cleveland. They get Williams. I know a lot of people say, well, Williams, you know, he's old, you know, he's old and all that. But the point is, they went out and got all these players. And look what happened to them against Golden State. Golden State showed them. All that Golden State did was got one player. They went and got Kevin Durant. They already had a strong core from the building of the draft. Well, besides Iguodala, but they had Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry. All of them came from draft picks from Golden State Warriors. So I'm telling a Lakers fan, at the end of the day, be patient. There's no reason for us to run out and go get PG-13, trade all our players, and be in the same predicament the Indiana Pacers are in right now with PG-13, getting close but no cigar. So with that being said, all I want to say is this. No more words. Pass my vitamin. Y'all have a blessed day.